Hello, this is Dia Damson, and today we are going to paint a daffodil, and it's beautiful and it's different and it's bright and it's happy. So I will have the traceable for you available on Facebook or my website, and the link will be in the description below, so check that one out. It's absolutely free. And what I did is using wet on wet and pretty much making the area that I am placing the color wet and then dropping in a very light version of that yellow, because I want to do few layers of different yellow and different colors. So I'm starting very light, very pale, and we have leaves coming. Pretty much we only see 5 because the 6th one is hiding behind, but you see tiny little point right there on the left side, kind of 8 o'clock ish. And what I want to do is make sure that all the areas are standing out. I did not erase the pencil completely, which will kind of help a little bit, keeping areas more pronounced. And what I'm doing right now is using ochre and a little bit of black to create a super transparent shadow. So I'm already starting to separate the areas. And also with the ochre, it's a yellow ochre, inside the cup of the flower I'm adding a little bit darker color than the outside of the cup, so that will give us a little bit of depth. And I will leave on the edge of the cup a little bit of a white border or very light yellow, so it's going to be much lighter color than the rest of the cup, inside or out. And each brush stroke on the petals is either starting from the center of the flower, and I'm pulling it out towards the outside of the flower, outside of the petal. And some of them will just follow the shape of the petal, which is on the left or the right of the petal. And I am trying to alternate between different variation of yellow and very light orange. So I am mixing my yellow with a yellow cadmium yellow, which is an orange yellow, and also putting a little bit of ochre, because ochre is, again, it's a yellow ochre, so it's a little bit darker. And inside I'm adding a little bit darker orange, and then I am pulling from that edge towards the out of that cup. So I'm creating kind of like lines, kind of stripes. Gonna add another layer of shadows, and I'm trying not to overdo the shadows because we want to see a lot of highlights on this. It is a lot of fun to paint the daffodil. It's beautiful, very gentle flower. And you see on the inside how we have stripes, and they are a little bit darker orange and lighter yellow, so keep those stripes going and don't have to make them all the same and even. And the ones in the center going a little bit more straight, and the ones that are a little bit on the both sides of the cup are going slightly to the side. So I am using a lot of water in some areas, so experiment with the different variations of wet canvas. Make it a little bit more wet and drop some paint and see how the paint is moving around, or less wet. So this is something that you're gonna have to experiment to learn how the paint is reacting, and not all paints are reacting the same way to water. I will be doing the background in a variation of kind of like a dirty greens and blues. So that's going to give us an illusion of maybe sky, but also greens, but they're very loose, very not pronounced at all, very vague. And just filling in the area, super light, a lot of water, and leaving a tiny bit of border between my petals and my background, so you can see how much water I put on this area. The light is shining a little bit more, so you can see it's a pool of water, but it's sitting in that area because I am not touching anything else. I'm leaving a little bit of a border between the petals and the area, so I'm adding a little bit of purple and darker colors on the bottom. I think I'm gonna push those colors a little bit more. I'm gonna make them a little bit darker because now the daffodil is not standing out. So if I make my background a little bit darker and emphasize on some of the shadows, the daffodil is gonna pop. So let's add a little more shadow on that side of the cup and give a little bit more of outlines. And you're going to see how that's going to make everything pop a lot. So your shadows are very important, so always play with your highlights and your shadows. A little bit more ochre, just lines. Everything is a lines on the petals of the daffodil. Let's draw more blue. Now the daffodil is going to start popping up. We're separating it from the background because when we had less color it just seems so muted. So once we start adding very dramatic color on the back, and because the yellow is bright, it's going to pop out. So if you see how I'm outlining it, so I'm pushing it forward, pushing our element to stand out a little bit more, emphasizing on that area of the daffodil because it's important. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell to get notifications for our future videos. Let me know how your daffodil turns out. And pretty much we're almost close to the end. I'm gonna emphasize a little bit more outlining, and you see every time I outline the daffodil pops even more. But enjoy and happy painting. See you soon. Bye.